Purple Collar Life. In this video we're talking about the mooring system that we use when we have the boat in the water. Typically we do this when we're camping for a week. This particular video was shot at Shenango. First thing I do to get ready for mooring is when we first get the boat there, make sure everything's going to run okay. I turn the blower on, turn the ignition on the Sport Nautique, pull the dipstick out and check the oil in the engine. And then these are the components of our mooring system. There's a river anchor, length of chain about 3 feet, our mooring buoy, the anchor buddy, and then 2 sections of rope. The one rope is from the back of the boat to the shore, and the white section of rope is for the length of the boat. So here I'm starting up the boat for the first time this summer, making sure everything runs okay. I like to leave it running until I see the temperature tick up at least one time so that I know it's warmed up before I start moving. And then we move everything to the front of the boat, all the mooring components. So we've got the anchor, that anchor buddy, the length of chain. It's all connected as one piece, and that's how you keep it all together. Here's what it looks like when the boat's out in the water mooring. For an idea of how far out we leave the boat, I set the boat so that the back end of it, where the prop is, since the prop does not lift, is at least head high for me. So you can see Mackenzie, it was over her head just slightly at the back of the boat. And as the waves move up and down, it moves the boat, and that's why I keep it so deep, so that I'm sure that the prop does not hit on the ground when the other boats create those wake. So the components are the rope to the shore, tie off at the shore and to the back of the boat, a rope the length of the boat that goes from the back to the front, and then from the front the mooring buoy, the anchor buddy, the chain, and the lake anchor. And that system is all one connected, so that when you put the boat in the water, you put the boat far enough out that anchor buddy can stretch a little bit, and then you stretch it to the back while you anchor it to the ground there. Here we're actually taking the boat out of the water for the end of our camping. So Mackenzie's holding the boat in place, pulling against the stretch of that anchor buddy, while I wind that rope up that was tied to shore. And you can see our boat's further out than most other boats. I'm really particular about the boat, so it's probably a lot deeper than it needs to be. It maybe could be sitting so that the prop was just a couple feet above the lake bottom. But like I said, I like to have it about 5 feet between the prop and anything at the bottom of the lake, because the lake level does fluctuate, and the wake from the other boats creates that wave that moves the boat up and down. Here, Mackenzie and Ashlyn are holding the boat as I walk into it. I've pulled it in a little ways so that it's not quite as deep for me to get in. And the anchor buddy allows you to do that. There's a lot of stretch in it, so it stretches when it goes over the waves. It stretches to hold the boat in place in the wind, and it stretches when you pull it back to get the boat a little closer to you. Here I'm removing the towel that I put over the instrument cluster to keep the sun off of it during the daytime. And I've hit the ignition and the blower switch so that the blower can start running, evacuating any gas fumes that are in that clamshell engine cover. You can see that rope that's tied to the back of the boat that goes into shore. There's a white rope draped up over the back of the boat. That's the length of the boat. So when we use the boat, we disconnect the back, let the boat swing around outside of the rope, and disconnect the front, and then all that system stays in place in the water. The rope to the shore, the rope the length of the boat, and the mooring buoy. When we come back in from boating, we just look for those components. Jennifer connects the front of the boat to the mooring buoy hook. I swivel the back of the boat around, and then usually I connect that white rope that's connected to the yellow rope onto the back of the boat, and that holds the boat in place until the next time we make it. Here I'm starting up the boat, just making sure that everything's going to run okay before we disconnect from the mooring system. once I see the boat's warmed up, I'll turn the boat off and they will start coming out to me. And as they roll that rope, they're the only thing holding the anchor buddy from pulling us further out into the water. The anchor buddy would actually pull you out until you're straight above the anchor. So when you're putting the boat in the water, you want to make sure that you leave enough space, put that anchor far enough out, and then back into shore, stretching the anchor buddy not the entire way, but partially, so that there's a stretch on it, and then connect that line to shore. You can see here they're working their way out. Ashlyn's holding the boat back, Mackenzie's coiling the rope. We just coil it on a piece of wood. And you can see once they let go of the rope and get onto the boat, the anchor buddy is pulling the boat out to be directly above the anchor, which is where we want it because we want to pull the anchor up as one of the next steps. So I'm going to the back of the boat here. I'm disconnecting the hook that holds the shoreline and the back of that white rope that's the length of the boat, and then I just coil the white rope in the opposite direction around that board and keep it all together. Like I said, this all stays connected the entire time when you're storing it and when you're using it. Now we're sitting directly above the anchor, so I'll finish coiling that white rope that was the length of the boat, and I will disconnect the hook from down on the bow of the boat, and there's actually a hook on the top of our boat, and I connect that there. So we're still connected to the anchor, but it's not down in the hook is not down on the front of the boat, hard to reach anymore. It's now up on top. I take a garbage bag or some type of plastic, because when I pull that anchor into the boat, after sitting at the bottom of the lake, it's going to be muddy, and the anchor buddy, that stretchy piece of material, also is muddy. So I like to have something in the boat to kind of protect our interior, easier to clean. Here I'm pulling the anchor buddy up. You can see there's a lot of stretch to it, so I've got to pull all the stretch out before it'll let me start pulling the anchor off the bottom. We do use that river or lake anchor that has a sliding system. Keeps the anchor in place on the bottom of a muddy lake. And that 3-foot section of rope allows the anchor to sit sideways and not be lifted off the bottom anytime a wave lifts the boat up a little bit. So the chain and the anchor buddy really do a great job of holding the boat in place. Here I'm just splashing some water up. When I pulled the anchor buddy in, it was, like I said, it was muddy, so we just splashed some water in over the top of the boat to clean things up quickly. And we're going to move out of the no wake zone where the boat had been mooring close to our campsite and out into the lake. I'm going to be quiet here so we can just listen to the gentle rumble of that PCM 351 Ford engine. I love the rumble of the engine. Here we're coming into the trailer. Dad's backed the trailer down with the truck, and this is how we load onto the trailer. Now he's backed it up just enough that the fenders are in the water, and that lets me touch the front of the boat on the boards. He's going to back it a little further now. And this is actually a drive-on trailer. There is no winch system. So once the fenders are under the water, I can drive completely up to that stopping point. You see the stopper there at the front of the bow. And I can just accelerate enough to push the boat into that spot, and then it hooks on the front. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Please click that subscribe and like button. It really helps us out. And I'll leave you with some video of the girls tubing